Students, in the end, what we are going to do is we are going to try to compare the different access technologies that we have touched upon. And in the process, we'll talk about the latest and the greatest technologies that we have at our homes as well, that we use as the access technologies. Students, आप लोगों ने टेलको की बात की, हम लोगों ने टेलीकम्युनिकेशंस में हम लोगों ने देखा कि किस तरह से एनालॉग सिग्नल ट्रैवल करता है and how the latest and the greatest developments in the case of the telco, especially the voice transmission, it has enabled us to carry data in the digital format as well on a telco line. कुछ twisted pair की बात की, हमने ये भी देखा coax भी use होती है, coaxial cable that we were using. Then we spoke about hybrid fiber coax or HFC. And in this particular discussion, we are going to touch upon the FTTX as well. So, and FTTX is a generic term for fiber to the, you can have curb, fiber to the home, fiber to the building, and all of those technologies are called as FTTX. And this is one access method that we have not touched upon yet. We will talk about this particular access technology in this discussion as well. And we'll do a bit of a comparison as to what's happening around us today in this particular century, just to see which technology is the latest and the greatest and which technology is here to stay. So students, on the slide, you can see a brief comparison of what we discussed. We have discussed the case of telco. In the case of telecommunication, all the way from the provider, central office, to your home, you can have you have a twisted pair. So students, this twisted pair, it can be your UTP, it can be your STP. We have discussed each of these transmission medium in detail, but you can see that we have got a UTP or an STP in this particular case. And we have got, because we are using this twisted pair, we have got a slight limitation on our data rate in the case of twisted pair. So then we spoke about the HFC, and as you can see, we have got a fiber which is there from your central office all the way to a local terminating point, which is relatively closer to the home, and then from that point onwards, you've got a coax cable that's going to your house, and it's terminating at your house as well. So students, it's still limited, but the data rate is better than your telco, because we are using fiber in this particular case. And as you already know, fiber is a high data rate medium. Students, then you've got FTTC. We'll talk about that in a bit detail. But for now, you need to know that FTTC stands for fiber to the curb. And in this particular case, you have got the provider office. You've got a fiber that goes all the way to your curb or your locality, and it terminates at a local point. And so this is your curb. And then from that point onwards, you can have the last loop, the local loop, or the last mile. You can have that coaxial cable in the case of that I'm showing you, and then you can also have a twisted pair from that curb to your house as well. And this is, once again, this is better than HFC, because it can support higher data rates. You've got fiber all the way from your provider office to your curb. And students, then we come to the technology of today, the technology of the future, and that is your fiber to the home. So you have got a fiber cable that's deployed from the provider office all the way to your premises. Students, the highest data rates possible, they are achieved given the applications that we have today, the video streamings, the audio, and all the high speed, high data rate applications that require, the most efficient of the channel. The FTTH is the choice of today that we are going to have, and we already have companies in your country which are providing HFC or using HFC as a medium. We have got some ISPs which are using FTTC or fiber to the curb, and we have got other ISPs today available already, which are supplying FTTH or a fiber to the home at a very minimal cost, and it's not out of bounds or out of pocket anymore today. So students, fiber, as I told you, is the medium of the future. And how fast is the fiber? You can see that we have got a comparison out here of a speed range in kilobits per second, and then you have got different media out here. And needless to say, our fiber, it actually outclasses and outthrows all the other our technologies slash media that we have got in this particular case. So your dial-up is history. Your DSL is almost history now. Cable is still there. Your T1 lines, they can compete, at low ranges, speed ranges as well. But when you talk about high speed ranges, you talk about high data rates, fiber is always the winner and the medium of the future.